Okay, so I'm back. I'm really sorry. I really want to apologize to have been so late in posting a new video. I have no excuse. I have good reasons. I was working on my extension of stay, my visa in the US, and that is why I had really to focus only on that work because all my work, my life, everything depends on it. And I really needed to stay focused on it. So I didn't have the time actually to do a video and to spend... doing the video is rather fast. It's editing which takes a lot of time, and I couldn't take some time to edit a video. I really needed to work on this visa. I finished about 1 month ago, and now I'm waiting for the answer. It can take a lot of time. I'm crossing the fingers. I could have done the video just after, once I was done. The problem is that I had to catch up all the work that I had to do for my business that I couldn't do when I was working on my visa. It's a lot of documents to give and a lot of scans to do, copies to do, the business plan to do, thinking deeply about where I want to go, what I want to do, how I want to do it, how can I make more money, who can I hire which would be more interesting for my business, and things like that, which really need to, it needs to stay focused on it. Okay, so the video is not about my visa. I just wanted to tell you the circumstances, the why I was so not there. I don't plan to abandon, to give up on YouTube, certainly not. And I hope to make more videos from now on. While I was working on my visa, I decided not only not to do videos, but also not to listen to music and not to paint. So not to listen to music. Why? Because when I listen to music, I can only focus on the music and I don't focus on the rest. Every time I hear some music, especially when I like it, but even if I don't like it, my ear has a tendency to go to the music and I forget what is around. So I couldn't work on my visa by listening to music, so I decided to cut off completely music, which is terrible for me. And also I decided not to paint, not to make craft, to really stay focused on my visa and to do the usual tasks of my job. Of course, I couldn't escape that. So I was doing so, kind of okay, not okay, because for me not listening to music is never okay. But then I realized that I was cheating a little because I was listening to music in the grocery store. In the grocery store you can hear the music, and I usually sing on the music, which distracts me from buying what I have to buy in the grocery store. And I also realized that I was cheating by another way. While I was doing my copies and my scans and all this thing, which is rather boring, which actually doesn't need so much attention, when you scan documents after documents, you don't need to stay focused on the scanner, you just do it. And I was putting on my phone, my iPhone here. It's not a video sponsored by Apple, I precise. I was playing on Netflix Hart of Dixie. Why Hart of Dixie? Because I watched it so many times that now I know by heart all what the actors are saying now. It's not like if it's a surprise every time I watch it, because I know the story by heart, I know all the words. And I realized that there is a lot of music on Hart of Dixie. And I realized that I was not even listening to the words, what the actors were saying anymore. I was listening to the music only. And more I was listening to the music, more I was appreciating the music, and more I realized that I actually loved this music. And I especially loved the country music, but the one which is a little more bluegrass or things like that. And I didn't know that about me. I was always sure that I didn't like country music. No, I love it. So I discovered a lot of musics, and I even decided to make a list of my favorite musics in Hart of Dixie, songs or music. But the list was so long that I realized that I loved basically almost everything which was in Hart of Dixie. Not everything, but not far, almost. And I became really attached to some musics. And then I realized, for example, when I fall asleep in my bed, I put on Hart of Dixie. And even if I fall asleep, it's not a big deal because I know the story already. But I was realizing how well was each episode done. The music with the theme of the episode, and how everything was falling in place wonderfully. For example, there is an episode all about color, the color blue. And actually there is some purple in the episode, but the theme is blue. I didn't realize that before. It's strange that the music attract my attention on the work made on the episode, on this episode, and then I realized the spirit behind the episode. It goes way beyond the story or the actors or even the words. It's more about the way it is built. So maybe it's because I'm doing videos on YouTube and I'm not a professional, but now I start seeing things that I didn't realize before. So for example, there is one song. So the songs on Hart of Dixie, I like them, or even I love them. Would I go to buy them in a store to have them in my home? Maybe not. Not all of them, actually. But there is one song that certainly I would go and buy. It's the Blackbird, Moan by Mazochi. I love that. I absolutely love this song. I could listen to it the whole day. I did it once, actually. I love it so much. That's very strange for me because I didn't think that I loved bluegrass, but I contacted a friend of mine who plays some banjo, and I asked him, what is this style exactly? Is it country? But he told me it's totally bluegrass, and he said, thank you for giving me the name of this song and the link, because he loved it too. It's really hot today. I can put my fan on, otherwise you are going to hear it and you are not going to hear what I'm saying. Oh, that's perfect. There is another song, so that is another story. The other song is That Moon by Stenson. So that is very strange because this song, I liked it, but one night I dreamt of it. I heard this song all along my dream during the night, and I woke up with this song in my head, and I remember that I dreamt of it all along my dream, and I couldn't stop having this song in my head the next day. I realized that that night when I dreamt of it and I sang it in my head, it was the full moon. What was really strange, because the name of the song is That Moon. So I went back on Hart of Dixie to see on what scene this song was played. And actually it is played in an episode which is absolutely extraordinary. It's about legacy. Legacy, and for me legacy is something very important because I come from a family where legacy didn't matter. My father wanted to reinvent himself and didn't want to have anything to do with his legacy. My mother doesn't really care about legacy either. And I'm the one who wants to keep this legacy. I mean, not only money, I mean wisdom, knowledge, tradition, things like that. And this episode is all about legacy. I didn't understand that when I was watching this episode for the first time, but because of the song, suddenly I realized all the spirit of this episode, which is all about legacy. And one scene, so I try to be fast. Wade's father, who is the drunk man of the little town, he's often drunk, a little crazy, that's why we call him Crazy Earl, actually has a very big heart. He knows that he didn't do well for his kids, his two sons. His wife died, so he's alone. And he wants to leave something to his sons. Not only memories of him being drunk. He wants to leave a piece of land with some money buried in it. So he's always asking for money from Wade to buy some medicines for his high blood pressure. That's what he pretends. The son thinks that it's to buy some alcohol, but actually it's none of this. It's to put it in a jar, a glass jar, and to bury the glass jar in the land that he wants to leave to his children. So once he will die, the kids will inherit a piece of land, and they will discover all this money saved by the father, who didn't buy alcohol with it, but who kept this money, like if he was forcing his son to save some money without the son knowing it. And we see Crazy Earl burying this glass jar in the piece of land and being so happy to do that for his sons. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because you need to see the episode. I found that so overwhelming. I think it's the most overwhelming thing I have ever seen, and so unexpected, because it's not a love story. I mean, yes, it is a love story, but I mean, it's not a romantic love story. It's not two people kissing each other. It's not something with a kid or a baby, someone crying with a baby in the arms, or something which would be usually overwhelming. It's something so unexpected and so full of love. I think that if we had to define love, this scene would be really the essence. Yes, it would be the perfect example of love for one's children who are grown-ups, actually. I loved the song right away once I heard it for the first time, but suddenly, because of this scene with this guy, this old man, he's not so old actually, burying this money in the land, and the moon in the sky, and the song on the scene, it's kind of magic. And that's maybe because of the magic of the scene that I did dream of that song. I think that the image really improves the music, and the music improves the image. It's really well done. I want to say well done. I precise it's not a video sponsored by Hart of Dixie. I'm not paid to say that. It's just, I'm telling you what was my story, what I liked while doing all this paperwork and all this nightmare, all this thing which is so difficult to do every time. I had my little piece of happiness by watching things like that. I will write the links in the description box, of course. I want really you to listen to it. So you see, he's speaking about the full moon in the song. It's very curious that I had this song in my mind during a whole night, and it was the night of the full moon. That was really strange. The whole episode is about legacy. I mean, Zoe, the main character, she wants to try to belong to the Bells, which is a group, because she has been told that her aunt was in the Bells and her whole family, the women, were in the Bells. So really, this episode is really so nicely done, but it's not the only one. It's very interesting to learn some music and to Yes, to discover some musics which are not brand new, to discover some music that you usually wouldn't listen to, and because of series, you suddenly listen to music and you start loving it, and you start thinking, wow, I missed a lot of things. So the last song, it's more classical. It's Moon River by Andy Williams. I saw that it was released in 1970. That's why I remember it from my childhood, because I heard it so much when I was a child. Moon River. I suppose you know it because it's a very famous song. And Wade sings this song to his father, Crazy Earl, who once a month go on the roof of the church and threatens to jump. And every month his son Wade goes on the roof of the church and try to grab his father to prevent him to jump, because the father is drunk, obviously. So what he does, he sings this song to the father, so the father sings the song with the son, and all the town, the people down the building, down the church, are singing the song with Wade and the father. And every time I see this episode, I sing the song with them too. And same thing, I think it's such an example of friendship, love, solidarity, helping each other. A way of giving a hand, but literally, because the son with his hands grabbed the father to prevent him from jumping. And it is such an overwhelming scene. Every time I was watching that while doing my paperwork, which is something really hard to do, and you see that, I thought there are beautiful musics in this world. There are feelings, love between people. Of course, it's a TV show, it's a series. This story is invented completely, it's not the reality. But it's to show what could or can exist in maybe small towns. We find that more in the small towns more than in the big cities. But even you see in Los Angeles, which is such a huge city, I mean it's more than a city, it's a megapole, it's huge. Each neighborhood is a little like a village, and we have this kind of feeling between people. We try to help each other as much as we can. I'm not saying that people around give me so much love, I'm far from that. But there is something. I think that is something that I like in humankind. This kind of solidarity and love and friendship and being there for each other. Okay, I wanted to start again my videos with this positive note. I will continue other stuff, different things, but of course the music is the center, the art is the center of what I want to talk about. I love so much music, I can't stop talking about music, and obviously I can't stop listening to music. I tried, no success, obviously I was still listening to music. Even when I decide not to listen to music, I'm still listening to music. Hart of Dixie is a series, but the music put in the series are not automatically made for Hart of Dixie. It can be real songs which have been put in the series. That's why it's interesting, because then you can have some interest for the artists who had their song or songs played in this series. So I edited my video yesterday and I realized that the very end of my video disappeared. I don't know where it went. I will try to be faster to make a new video. I'm not going to try. I will be faster to do another video, especially that I have a lot to say. I will continue speaking about music, but also about art and craft and more. If you liked this video, please give me a thumb up, and maybe you can subscribe if you want to hear more about that. If you subscribe, don't forget to click on the little bell so you will be warned every time I release a new video. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and I see you very soon. Bye bye.